Welcome back, everyone, once again to another Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath video commentary. We are on Tournament Arena 1.02 Plus, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner as the purple ZCM. Purple or pink, I honestly can't tell the difference. We'll go ahead and call it purple. It is none other than State of the Union. And spawning in the upper left-hand corner as the cyan vanilla nod, we do have iLLusion. So let's go ahead and jump right into this match. We are on Tournament Arena 1.02 Plus, so we're going to be seeing just a single engineer out of each of these players going for their home Tiberium spikes, an easy cap, as they don't really have to worry about the enemy team going ahead and sending out any shadow teams or anything like that. There's really no way to go ahead and snipe the engineers, and we're just going to be seeing some early scout engagements, and State of the Union is going to have a large advantage with the rifleman squads versus the militant squads, but actually two militant squads stacked on top of one another are going to force State to go ahead and pull back. So good control from him to go ahead and keep that scout alive. He is going to likely bring that scout back, maybe drop it into this bunker, or perhaps go out in a different angle to get some scouting information. We do have a scout in the north for iLLusion as well as State of the Union. So State going to be going ahead and getting into iLLusion's base, but a Raider buggy out from iLLusion going to be able to deny too much scouting information from State, but there is a second one coming up from the south, but that Raider buggy is likely going to be rallied down to get some scouting information on State, as we do have a militant squad that's made its way down into the base of State of the Union. It does not appear as though State is going for any type of a watchtower or anything, so he does not seem to be too concerned with this scout in his base, so he's not going for any early game rushes, just going to be looking to eco up and get his macro on. So we do have a foxhole being dug by State of the Union, and good placement here, as it will force iLLusion to go ahead and move his MCV right over the top of it practically to get down to his expansion. So State will definitely be able to tell when iLLusion is expanding, and actually State of the Union going ahead and expanding just now, and we're going to go ahead and see iLLusion try to Raider buggy block this, but I believe, and perhaps correct me if I'm wrong, this is something that was patched in 1.02 Plus, that the Raider buggies and pit bulls and all those types of units are not going to be able to block the MCVs anymore, so you don't have to sit there and continually micro your MCV away from just those harassing units. And we can see that iLLusion has gone ahead and moved his way down south as well, so pretty similar expansion timings for both of these players. And we do have a scout in the north for iLLusion. That's going to be good, as he's going to be able to get eyes on any harvesters going to the blue Tiberium. We do have a harvester going down to the blue Tiberium for iLLusion. This foxhole is likely going to be dug out by these two bikes here from iLLusion, and likewise going to be reacting to the militant squads with this predator tank, but actually is not going to be sticking around to kill them off. One member is going to be surviving, likely going to be seeing some rockets from that harvester, may go ahead and kill that. No, that militant squad is going to survive, so taking about half of the power plant's health down before State of the Union managed to start repairing it, and is going to now be forced to repair that. We do see the MCV taking a little bit of damage from that rifleman squad, but nothing too serious. Definitely nothing that iLLusion has to worry about. We do have a barracks down for State of the Union here, going to be looking to get out some early rifleman squads and rocket squads to defend his expansion, and likewise for iLLusion going for practically a mirror build here, as they both have a single refinery and single barracks down, but actually iLLusion choosing to go for a second barracks as well as a secret shrine, so going to be looking to push pretty heavy infantry here. We do have a handful of Scorpion tanks, and actually packing up his MCV, and it looks like he's going to go ahead and move that to a more forward position here, perhaps to defend off, or maybe even push hard onto the expansion of State of the Union. We'll have to see what happens here. We do have the Tib infusion done for iLLusion, so he does have some early infantry upgrades, whereas State of the Union does not have anything. We do have an airfield down for State of the Union. I believe that we had a Raider buggy out for iLLusion. Yes, there it is. I thought I saw that somewhere, and is going to go ahead and scout off that airfield, so that's not going to be a total surprise for iLLusion. Granted, he is against ZCM, so he must know that the aircraft is coming at some point. We do have this infantry force just seemingly setting up a wall across the field here from iLLusion. Not going to be really engaging, but actually pushing forward now. It looks like he is being a little bit hesitant about where to engage. Very smart move, as there are 3 foxholes here from State of the Union as well as a watchtower, so being effective with his scouting information, iLLusion choosing where to engage as he does want to get the first major engagement out here. And we do have an Orca Strike coming down on that Harvester. Not going to be enough to actually kill it, but this force from iLLusion is actually going to be pushing south towards State of the Union's base, and we are going to see a decent sized engagement here, as we do have 2 foxholes that are decently well garrisoned, as well as a couple of watchtowers and a hammerhead with full upgrades. It does have ceramic armor as well as the AP ammo upgrade, and going to be seeing a Reclamator hub down for State of the Union, so going straight to his tech and straight for not a Redeemer, but rather a Marv here. So a good choice from State, as Zocom Marvs are particularly effective, seeing that they do have the Zone Raider ability in terms of upgrades. And we are going to be seeing these hammerheads just kiting in and out, going to be doing damage where they can without getting too close to these rocket squads, not going to be taking too much damage, and the ceramic armor allowing them to take a significant amount of damage without having to actually pull off the line. We are seeing the attack bikes down in the south for iLLusion. He would have likely liked to have them up north there to deal with those hammerheads, but it doesn't look like he is going to do so. And actually, we do have a couple of shadow teams out for iLLusion. It looks like he was able to snipe down the airfield of State of the Union, and they're going to go ahead and pull away now, losing a couple units there. I'm not quite sure what they were lost to. Perhaps the hammerheads, as they were close by, going to be swinging down with the bikes in the south, but iLLusion taking a couple losses from these foxholes of State of the Union. So State of the Union, good choice to go ahead and throw down these foxholes, buddy, as they are doing quite a bit of damage for you and just denying iLLusion from pushing too hard. Going to be dropping down another airfield in the north, closer to the Blue Tiberium, likely trying to climb his way up to the Blue Tiberium, but this remaining shadow team going to be taking a swing at that upgraded power plant, going to be forcing State of the Union to go ahead and repair that. We're going to see this Pitbull getting some scouting off on that shadow team, but actually that shadow team is going to go ahead and pull away, so State is not going to be pleased with that, as he has dropped a watchtower there to deal with that, and is not going to actually take out any members of that squad there. We do have a radar scan down. I'm not quite sure where it hit, perhaps on this field here. Yes, as we do have a Zocom Orca Strike coming in from State of the Union. We do have yet another Congo line out from iLLusion, so iLLusion liking to set up a wall here, and actually that Orca Strike almost being incredibly effective, as it would have struck down that Harvester for certain with a full load of Tiberium and would have severely damaged the second Harvester. And actually going to be seeing the Marv pushing forward from State of the Union along with a couple of Predator tanks. Nice thing about 1.02 Plus, you can build Predator tanks without having to worry about giving away too much veterancy, but not going for too many, as they do not have the ability to upgrade to railguns. And actually going to be seeing the Zone Raider drop pods being called in, as well as the Shockwave artillery. So decent amount of one-clicks out of State of the Union at this point. Going to be dropping down on the front lines, going to be dealing a decent amount of damage to this economy. Going to go ahead and jump jet those units away prior to getting run over by that Harvester. Good choice from State, as he does not want to lose those units, as they are quite expensive. And this Marv just continually taking damage here. And we do have a couple of units down in the south for iLLusion. It looks like it's actually going to be a couple of avatars. I'm not quite sure what they're doing down in the south, perhaps to prevent any pushes from pit bulls and things like that. But in any case, we are going to be seeing an engagement here at this expansion of iLLusion, and actually iLLusion having 3 avatars behind this Marv, going to be dealing a ton of damage to the rear armor, and a 4th avatar rocking up to the fight, as well as an Obelisk and this Redeemer. He may actually go ahead and snipe down this Marv early on. That is going to be a great pickup for iLLusion, and yes, the Marv, it does go down right there. Going to be dropping another hand of nod on the front lines. iLLusion is going to be liking that a lot. State is going to be very displeased, as that Marv costs quite a bit of money and is really his meat shield in this game. He does not have a whole lot of units out aside from that. Going to have just a handful of these zone shatterers that have not really been utilized almost at all, as well as a large amount of infantry and a couple of hammerheads. He does have some zone heads, as he has thrown these zone raiders from the drop pods into the hammerheads. A wise choice, as they are going to do a lot of damage. We do hear a catalyst missile. Catalyst missile comes off and knocks down the refinery, as well as 2 harvesters, maybe 3. I honestly can't tell from State of the Union, but State don't care. He's just going to go ahead and drop down another refinery, saying, "What's up, dude? You're going to go ahead and drop 1 refinery? I'll just drop another one on top of it." Anyways, so we see this Redeemer managing to survive that engagement from the hammerheads. Going to go ahead and pull back to the warp factory that's been placed on the front lines. And we do have a couple of stealth tanks out from iLLusion. Going to be a wise choice to deal with these hammerheads. They're really going to be the only good counter to the AP ammo and upgraded ceramic armor of the hammerheads. And as we can see, State of the Union just continually dumping more and more rocket squads into these aircraft, and actually going to be rallying these zone troopers probably up to this Marv. Yes, we do have another Marv out for State of the Union, and we're going to see another push from iLLusion here. We have 4 avatars as well as the Redeemer and 5 stealth tanks out for iLLusion. Going to be having a rage gen coming off, going to be killing off almost all of this infantry and knocking that foxhole down to a very low damage, or very low health points rather, and 4 avatars as well as the Redeemer are going to be dealing a lot of damage, and actually the 5 stealth tanks coming in going to be doing a massive amount of damage to that Marv. Not going to be taking almost any damage in return, just a couple of harvesters taking a couple shots here. Going to be losing 1 to the hammerheads being close by, as well as the zone shatterers, and the zone shatterers dealing a massive amount of damage to these avatars, but it's not going to be enough to snipe them down, and actually bringing forward the stealth tanks to go ahead and crush the infantry here. Going to be hearing yet another shockwave artillery out of State of the Union, bringing down the drop pods as well, and is going to go ahead and strike down these avatars as well as take a swing at this Redeemer, but really needs to pull these units back as that Redeemer does have a flame unit on it, and he's going to be losing these zone raiders from the drop pods to that. Oh, that is not going to be good. Going to be losing all of the zone raiders to the Redeemer with the flame unit, as well as the raider buggies that are here, but the Zocom, not the Orcas, but rather the hammerheads coming in with the zone raiders, going to be dealing a massive amount of damage to these units, just absolutely demolishing all of the remaining raider buggies out from iLLusion, and going to be dealing a massive amount of damage to that Redeemer, and actually managed to snipe down that Redeemer. So good control from State to actually manage to mount a defense here with just a small number of units. Going to be using those one-clicks quite effectively as they're going to keep him in this game, and the action has slowed to a crawl here as both forces here have been diminished to practically nothing, and we do have a couple of stealth tanks out for iLLusion, going to be knocking down the Avatar husks. A wise decision, as he does not want to allow those in the hands of State, as he would put those to good use. That one engineer likely being rallied to go capture those husks may be able to be put to use by going and capturing that Iberium spike to the north, and yes, he is going to go ahead and send that up north. We'll have to see if he's able to capture that. I doubt it, as iLLusion will likely catch it and send a raider buggy up north to deal with it, but it looks like he has made quite a ways north. Not going to be worried too much about that. Going to be sending one pitbull forward to get some information off on what's going on in iLLusion's base, but is going to go ahead and fall back, and we are actually going to see a decent sized engagement here as the stealth tanks and raider buggies are going to be coming forward to deal some damage. The raider buggies are being used as a meat shield here, as well as some DPS against this infantry, but actually the stealth tanks being caught out as they are being forced to be used against the forces here. So not going to be a good engagement for iLLusion, as he just does not have the unit composition to deal the amount of damage that he wants to do here. And actually, State of the Union being very effective with that engineer. He did manage to capture that Tiberium spike, and we are going to see the raider buggies pushing forward, but the zone raiders in the hammerheads are going to be dealing a massive amount of damage. He does lose one zone head, so that's not going to be good for State, as those are quite expensive. We do have yet another Marv out for State, so I believe that is the 3rd Marv this game for State of the Union. Going to be pumping that out and likely getting some garrisons ready. We do have the remaining units from iLLusion being cleaned up here, so once again these players have been essentially reset to practically nothing in terms of units. We do have the Marv out for State of the Union, and it looks like iLLusion is going to be going for a Redeemer of his own, so State should be capitalizing on this time by pushing forward and dealing some damage to iLLusion, but is likely trying to gather the forces himself to go ahead and make that push worthwhile. And we do have just a single militant squad going to be pecking away at that Tiberium spike in the south, and have actually done quite a bit of damage, manages to bring it down to half of its health. I'm not quite sure why I keep trying to say 0.5%, as that would not be accurate whatsoever. And we do have yet another stealth tank out for iLLusion. So iLLusion going heavy on the stealth tank production, but surprisingly enough, not actually going for any of his tier 3 upgrades. And I'm sorry, I missed this. We did have 2 stealth tanks engaging in the north, going to be sniping down a couple more of the hammerheads of State of the Union. Going to go ahead and snipe down yet another of the harvesters, and are going to go ahead and fall back here. State being very smart and bringing his harvester back from the blue field, and going to be microing it around the reclamator hub here to prevent it from being destroyed. And we do have a counter push from State of the Union, going to be destroying that refinery on the front lines of iLLusion, and are going to go ahead and fall back here. So smart move out of State to go ahead and push forward and fall back where he needs to. Push forward, do some damage, fall back, and just continue to seesaw like that. And the stealth tanks of iLLusion going to be pulling down here, trying to damage the remaining economy from State on his main base, and they do manage to go ahead and snipe that down, but maybe paying for it with a veteran stealth tank, so not going to be pleased with that. And State is going to go ahead and rank up one of his pit bulls. Going to be very happy about that, and actually losing a second stealth tank to the infantry and Marv combo. So great cutoff of State to use the infantry as the stealth detection and just anticipating the path that iLLusion was going to take. So that was actually really great control out of State of the Union. I have to admit that, to go ahead and grab that stealth tank, as that was definitely why he sent that infantry down south to grab that pickup there. So iLLusion losing a tremendous amount of money in terms of stealth tanks here, and a beacon coming down from State. Going to be actually seeing these stealth tanks, almost said flame tanks, and these stealth tanks are going to be doing some damage to the power of State of the Union. So State is going to have to get down here and deal with this immediately, as he's going to be losing 2, maybe 3 upgraded power plants. Yes, we are going to be seeing 3 upgraded power plants being lost, perhaps even a 4th power plant, just adding insult to injury here. And it looks like maybe not. Yes, they are going to go ahead and strike this remaining power plant for State of the Union. I believe that is all of his power. It looks like it is. Yes, that's going to be every bit of power that State of the Union has. So all of his production has been slowed to a creeping halt, and iLLusion is going to be very happy about that. Once again, going for a massive infantry swarm, but really has a lot of militant squads mixed in here. Not a tremendous amount of rocket squads like you would normally see, but rather going for perhaps the meat shield of the militant squads. But they're going to go ahead and get focused down pretty quickly by the rifleman squads with the composite, or rather the Tiberium field suits, as well as the AP ammo. And that's not even to mention the AP ammo hammerheads, if there are any left. I am not quite certain. It doesn't seem like there is. And we have a massive Congo line out from iLLusion. Going to go ahead and bring those guys back down. So iLLusion being very happy. A decoy army coming in from iLLusion, likely going to be seeing a one-click here, perhaps a catalyst missile. Yes, it is going to be a catalyst missile. So State of the Union realizing that, going to try to go ahead and pull those harvesters away, but no. 2 of the harvesters are going to go down. It looked like they had a decent amount of Tiberium in them as well, so iLLusion is going to be liking that quite a bit, as he has denied State of the Union from harvesting this field too much, and State being forced to harvest his own expansion. Not going to be pleased with that, but at least he does have a method of harvesting that field nonetheless. And it looks like all of these forces are going to be rallied down to take out this Tiberium spike, because, you know, you need a Redeemer and about 15 rocket squads and probably 100 militants to take on a single Tiberium spike. But in any case, he is going to go ahead and overwhelm that Tiberium spike, take it out, and the Marv from State of the Union just kind of driving around a bit aimlessly. We will likely be seeing yet another refinery being dropped on the front lines for State of the Union, as he really needs to allow himself to recover some of this economy here that he's being denied. And we're going to be seeing another push from iLLusion. So iLLusion really being the aggressor in this game, bringing forward the infantry as well as the Redeemer here. Really should bring this Redeemer perhaps to the front of the line to sponge some of the damage. And actually Tiberium catalyst, or rather the Tib vein being called in here, going to be killing off all of the infantry and dealing a massive amount of damage to the structures in this area. And the stealth tank is going to be harassing in the north, so wise choice from iLLusion, but actually maybe losing all 3 of these stealth tanks to the Marv. He does. He loses all 3 stealth tanks to the Marv. State of the Union is going to be eating that up. Very pleased. Going to be completely eliminating all of the infantry forces of iLLusion here, as well as EMPing this Redeemer. So State is going to be incredibly happy with the way this has turned out, as the stealth tanks were sniped down. That is a huge loss, and all of the infantry as well as the Redeemer are going to be lost here from iLLusion. He may go ahead and save that Redeemer. It looks like it is going to get away. I don't know if the EMP grenades are back yet for that particular Grenadier squad, and it doesn't look like he has any others. And actually the Flames going to go ahead and kill off that Grenadier squad, and a Black Hand Trooper going to be coming forward and wiping out all of this infantry here. The Marv simply not going to be enough to take that out prior to him going ahead and killing all of that infantry. And it actually looks like iLLusion may get away with that Marv, or rather with the Redeemer, but at the cost of all of his infantry forces here, as the Marv simply drives forward and gobbles up all of those infantry with that big front end. And State is going to be very pleased with that, as yes, the Redeemer did get away, but he did a tremendous amount of economic damage here, as that was essentially iLLusion's entire army here. And still we see 5 harvesters out from iLLusion, but actually going to be losing some of those harvesters to the Marv here. Going to be silo dropping next to the Marv, trying to prevent State from doing too much damage here. Smart move from iLLusion, but it's only delaying the inevitable, as these Pitbulls are here to get the stealth detection off on those harvesters. iLLusion being forced to pull those harvesters back to a dry field, being forced to lose this economy on this expansion, and State being effective with the Marv, going to go ahead and drive over the remaining Tib there while pushing forward. Going to be able to grab some of that money for himself, and going to be likely trying to snipe down this Conyard. Let's see what he does, and it's looking very bad for iLLusion, as he really does not have the forces that he needs to engage here. And this Marv actually up to a veteran status now, and actually we're just continually seeing more and more militant squads out of iLLusion, so it seems as though he is content with going for just rifle damage against this Marv, perhaps just saying his GG's at this point, as he is going to go ahead and push forward with this Redeemer, but this Marv could easily overwhelm that Redeemer, even with the flames and infantry squads that iLLusion has chosen to push forward with. And we do still have a War Factory down for iLLusion, so he could perhaps get himself back into this game, but it's going to take, honestly, a miracle at this point, as we do have AP ammo. APC is going to be moving across the middle of the map to join this Marv on the final assault on iLLusion's base, and I honestly believe it is just a matter of time until the GG is thrown out, as these forces are pushing forward at an alarmingly quick rate, and we do have the APCs rallying to the north, as well as the Marv pushing from the south. So we're going to be seeing the enclosing of iLLusion in the upper left hand corner here. Likely this is going to be it, but still not GGing out of the game just yet. Going to be taking a swing at the remaining infantry here, and just now throwing in the towel. So Maze has been defeated. State of the Union, Smiles Betray coming through with a victory in this great game. So let's go ahead and take a look at the resources tab, as I'm curious to see how this came out. So we can see State of the Union had a pretty good advantage in the early game, coming up to maybe the 13-minute mark, where iLLusion was being extremely effective with the stealth tanks, sniping down a lot of the harvesters, also using the one-clicks to knock out the refineries on that expansion. So being very effective, keeping his economy way ahead of State at this particular point in the game, and that, I think, is when he just chose to invest really heavily in those stealth tanks, but lost a lot of them needlessly to just poor micro. But I mean, granted, if we were to throw myself into that game, I would have likely lost all of those units without actually doing a single bit of damage. So you have to give it up to these players for giving out a great game. It was certainly very entertaining to watch. I enjoyed the crap out of it, and I hope you all did too. Also, I'm trying out some new music in this one. I know that that's a seemingly unimportant item, but I really enjoyed it. It is a producer called Zircon, so if you guys get a chance, I will link his information in the description. I really enjoy this music. It feels very C&C like, so let me know what you guys think. Also, let me know what you guys think of the video. As always, I love getting some feedback. It really gives me an idea as to where it stands, as I'm always looking to improve these videos. But thank you all for watching once again, and I will catch you all next time. At this, but with the Juggernauts and the large amount of infantry spam out of bonus route, I don't know if it's going to be enough. We do have the Firehawks coming in, and oh, that's super